All right, so in this video, I just want to talk a little bit about one of the things that we might have been learning in school that might actually hold us back in this new day and age. And I think this is super important right now because if we don't realize this and we don't see this, then we are not going to be able to have success in this new day and age coming up without even realizing why that is. So this concept came from a video that I saw by Dan Coe. He is somebody that talks about this stuff all the time. And what he said is that, if we are not able to be independent thinkers, if we are not able to think for ourselves, and if we are not able to learn how to learn, then we are not going to be able to succeed in this new day and age. And him and the dude that he was talking with in this podcast, they dove into the topic of the fact that the schools, when we go to school and when we're learning stuff, we don't actually learn how to learn, because a lot of times we are just avoiding mistakes. We are avoiding messing up on a test, avoiding having a bad grade on a test. And when you're doing that, it teaches you to avoid mistakes, that if you avoid mistakes, you are going to get to success. But in reality, especially with right now, success lies at the other end of a lot of freaking mistakes. So if you're watching this, I know that you guys are probably pretty creative. You're probably diving into stuff. And I want to make this video for you guys so that you know that what you're doing is going to be super valuable, even if you aren't having the most success right now. Because I think learning how to learn, learning how to dive into mistakes and doing that is one of the most valuable things that you could be learning right now. And I want to tell you guys why it's so important, but then also some ways that you can continue to dive into this that I've recently found for myself. So firstly, it's like the fact that this video that I was watching about it really showed me and put into perspective what I've been thinking about for a while. The fact that with technology, with everything moving so fast, the school system is not going to be able to keep up with everything that's moving so fast, because you're just not going to be able to update the textbooks and all that stuff. I mean, maybe if you really put hard effort into it, but it doesn't seem like that's really the necessity and really the focus right now. And because it's always going to be one step behind, you as somebody that might be going into the school system is always going to be one step behind of where the world is moving right now. And I don't think there's anything bad with going to school at all. I really don't. I think you can learn a lot from going to school, but it's just the fact that you also have to be able to develop on your own the ability to think independently. The ability to pick something up and be able to learn it step by step, be able to break it down, be able to know what you need to do to research this thing. And they were just mentioning that that's one of the most important skills right now. And I think that that's true, because if you're always going to school and that's the only way that you've learned how to learn, you're only going to be able to learn what's been broken down into a curriculum, what's been broken down into how they want you to learn it. But when you're diving into something completely different, completely new, completely specific to you, you're not going to have no curriculum. You're going to have to figure it out on your own. You're going to have to break this little topic down into pieces to eat it up to understand it and to be able to put that into something that you can apply. And if you're making something creative right now, if you're diving into something that you're learning right now, especially with ChatGPT or with AI, anything like that, and you're figuring out how to do that, I think you are going to start being able to get ahead so much faster. Because if you're able to do that, it gets you out of that perfectionist mindset. It gets you out of thinking of mistakes as a bad thing, which we've all been taught throughout our whole lives. If we start thinking about mistakes as something that allows us to get closer and closer to that goal that we want, to success, then we start looking for mistakes. Then we start trying to make mistakes as fast as possible to get to freaking success. Because if you basically think about it, it's like if you go to a buffet and you're sitting there waiting for the perfect freaking plate. That perfect plate may not ever come, and it probably will not come. But somebody that goes to a buffet and starts picking out stuff, even if they don't know if they're going to like it or not, they start picking it out, trying it out, eating it, testing it, being like, oh, I freaking hate this. Let me try this. Let me try this. All of a sudden, you're putting together this freaking concoction that's going to be exactly specified to what you like and what you don't like. And it becomes a perfect plate because you have tested it. You have experimented with it. But that's the crazy part, because that's something I've been learning too. These tiny experiments. That is what's going to set you all apart. If you want to take this and you want to actually apply it to your life, think in the concept of tiny experiments. It's something I've been diving into. It first started out with this book called Idea Flow, and he mentions that in order to get ahead, you got to just have a whole bunch of freaking tiny experiments. They got to be scrappy experiments, scrappy things that you're just taking an idea, putting it out there, like putting it into something that allows you to put it into the real world just to see how it does, just to see how it reacts, if you like it, if other people like it, and then taking that feedback and iterating or seeing if the idea is even good at all. So that got me started on that. And then I saw this book called Mini Experiments. I think that's what it's called, at least. But there was a dude that made an app based off that book, and it's basically just an app that allows you to run a whole bunch of experiments in your life. And this could go for many things. I mean, you could do it for something that you're trying to be better at, like a craft, if you're trying to experiment with things. But basically, you just put in what you're experimenting with, what's your hypothesis, what do you think about this? Like, what do you think the outcome is supposed to be? And then basically you can input every single day just a little update on that. Like, how is that going? Is it doing good? Is it doing bad? And that was really the unlock for me, because I had been looking for something like that for the longest time. I wanted to do these experiments, but I didn't know how to track it. I didn't know how to do it. I mean, you could think about it even on your day-to-day level. Sometimes if you wake up in the morning and you go outside, you get some sunlight, you're gonna feel freaking amazing. That's an experiment you could run. You could do that for 7 days and see how you feel. So it's just testing and experimenting with these things these ideas that we have that might make our lives better, that might make our craft better, whatever you want to think about it. Because I think with AI and all this stuff, we have so many freaking ideas. We are being overloaded with ideas, but we have to have a system for taking it out into the real world and trying it out. And I truly think that this has been the thing that has given me hope. And I have had a lot of fun testing out these experiments recently. So if you're somebody that's diving into something completely new, it's going to be hard. It's going to be a little bit scary. Like for myself, even right now, going on my own path is freaking scary because you don't know how it's going to end up. We don't know where we are going exactly. But if we can experiment, test it out, kind of just feel it out and find our own groove and our own path, learn how to learn ourselves, I think we're going to be perfectly fine. I think we're going to find our path and we're going to set ourselves up for anything else that we actually want to pick up and anywhere else we want to go. I love you guys. Just want to make this little video for you guys. Let me know how you're currently doing. Are you going to school or are you actually going on your own path? And are you trying to find a balance between those two if you are? I love you guys. I hope you have an amazing day, week, peace. Also, before I leave, I want to mention, I'm going to be uploading more videos because I'm literally diving into this. I want to get more experiments out here, and this has inspired me to dive into getting more videos out. So I'm literally putting it into practice. Let me know how you guys are going to apply this.